Welcome back to City, Civil Talks, where we explore the essence of civilization, history, and adab. I'm your host, Avicenna, and in today's episode, we will embark on a journey to uncover one of the most remarkable periods in human history, the Islamic Golden Age. The Islamic Golden Age, which spanned roughly from the 8th to 14th century, was a time of great cultural, scientific, and intellectual achievements. This era not only shaped the future of the Islamic world, but also had a profound influence on global civilization. So, how did this remarkable period come to be, and what lesson can we learn from it today? Let's dive in. The Islamic Golden Age refers to a period during which the Muslim world, primarily centered around cities like Baghdad, Cordoba, Cairo, and Damascus, become a beacon of learning, culture, and intellectual prosperity. It marked an era where knowledge from across the world, including ancient Greek, Persian, and Indian sources, were preserved, translated, and expanded upon. According to historian George Saliba, professor of Arabic and Islamic science at Columbia University, the intellectual environment in the Islamic world was deeply rooted in both religious and rationalist traditions. This period, he notes, was a bridge that connected the classical world to the Renaissance. Scholars of this age didn't just preserve knowledge, they innovated, creating new disciplines and advanced existing fields. One of the central figures during this period was Al-Khwarizmi, a Persian polymath whose work in algebra, a term derived from his famous book Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala, laid the foundation of modern mathematics. In fact, many of our mathematical terms and concepts like algorithm, algebra, come directly from his contributions. The Islamic Golden Age wasn't just about mathematics. This period witnessed monumental achievements across various fields. For example, the first one, science and medicine. The influence of scholars such as Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, cannot be overstated. His canon of medicine became the standard medical text in both of Islamic world and Europe for centuries. According to Michael D. Gartz, a renowned historian, Ibn Sina's work was not only influential in the field of medicine, but also philosophy and logic, demonstrating the interconnectedness of knowledge during this era. The second one, astronomy. In astronomy, figures like Al-Battani and Ibn Ashatir made critical advancement. Al-Battani's astronomical observation refined Ptolemaic models and were later used by European astronomers during the Renaissance. Meanwhile, Ibn Ashatir's work not only the planets helped lay the groundwork for later astronomical developments in the West. George Saliba explained the astronomical tables created during this time were some of the most accurate of their era and influenced European astronomers such as Copernicus. The third one is philosophy and arts. The influence of philosophers like Al-Farabi and Ibn Rushd, known in the West as Averroes, had a lasting impact on both the Islamic world and Europe. Their works helped bridge the gap between great philosophical tradition and Islamic thoughts. As John Thalan, the professor of history at the University of Nantes, mentions, the Islamic philosophers were not merely commentators on Greek texts, but also contributed significantly to the development of philosophy. And of course, the art flourished during this time, with advancement of calligraphy, architecture, and literature. Cities like Cordoba were known for their stunning architectural achievements, including the famous Great Mosque of Cordoba, which symbolized the golden age of Islamic art and architecture. And now, let's connect all of this to the concept of adab, which is essential to the identity of Islamic civilization. Adab refers not just to good manners, but also the cultivation of knowledge, ethic, and social behavior. During the Islamic Golden Age, scholars not only pursued knowledge, but lived by a code of ethics that sought to benefit society as a whole. As Omar Farooq mentioned in his book, the Islamic Renaissance. The concept of adab was integral to the life of the scholars. It was not merely about acquiring knowledge, but about using the knowledge responsibly to the benefit of humanity. This can be seen in how these scholars and thinkers integrated their intellectual work with practical contribution to society, whether in public health, governance, or education. They were not isolated intellectuals. They were actively engaged in improving society, making their contribution a form of ethical service to the community. This deeply intertwined relationship between knowledge and the virtue is something that still holds relevance today. In a world where information is readily available, but its ethical application is often questionable. The example of the Islamic Golden Age reminds us that knowledge must always be coupled with a sense of responsibility and adab, whether in public health, governance, or education. They were not isolated intellectuals. They were actively engaged in improving society, making their contribution a form of ethical service to the community. Sadly, the Islamic Golden Age didn't last forever. Political instability, external invasion, and internal strife all contributed to its decline. Despite this legacy of period continues to shape the world today, from the preservation of Greek philosophy to the advances in medicine and mathematics. The intellectual achievement of the Islamic Golden Age laid the groundwork for the European Renaissance and the scientific revolution. As Jonathan Lyons, author of The Host of Wisdom, notes, the legacy of Islamic Golden Age is in many ways the foundation of the modern world. Without the contribution of these scholars, we might not have had the scientific breakthroughs that followed into modern era. So, what can we take away from the Islamic Golden Age? First and foremost, it shows us the power of knowledge and the importance of nurturing an environment that values both intellectual curiosity and ethical responsibility. By learning from the past, we can build a better future, grounded in both wisdom and virtue. Thank you for joining me today on CT, Civil Talks. I hope this exploration of the Islamic Golden Age has inspired you to learn more about how history and civilization and adab are deeply interconnected. Thank you for listening to CT, Civil Talks. Don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast with your friends, and join me on this journey of learning and growth. Until next time, keep striving, keep learning, and as always, make your life civilized.